Hi, welcome back. This is Paul Benyon, one of the sales engineers at Hard Dollar Corporation. Today we're going to learn about how to handle changes that occur in the schedule and manage those changes back in the Hard Dollar estimate. To get started, we're going to focus in on this machine excavation item. If I open up the cost item record, we'll see that there's a crew of labor and equipment already established on this item, and I have production that I've defined. And I'm predicting that we can do 6,756 cubic meters per day, which calculates to 105 cubic meters per man-hour based on the crew that I have today. And from that, the system has backed those values into 37 days, which is also updated into the schedule. In this case, I am connected to Primavera for the schedule. So if I jump over to Primavera, which I already have open, you'll notice that same machine excavation item, and it is synchronized with the estimate, and it has 37 days in it. Well, that item is, of course, sequenced and linked to other items as the logic has been established in the schedule. And we can see that it's part of the critical path. As things are managed here on the scheduling side, they believe that it is necessary to shorten up the amount of time it takes to do the excavation work all the way down to 30 days. So if I make a change here on the Primavera side to 30 days, let's take a look at how we would manage that back in Hard Dollar. So if I simply toggle over to Hard Dollar, notice that it still is at 37 days. This is important. This is because we have a built-in check and balance in Hard Dollar so that it doesn't automatically make cost changes in your estimate. If I come up to the scheduling icon up above here, I have a couple options, and one of them is to update HD from Primavera. When I click on that, this is where it will prompt me and ask me if I do in fact want to update the estimate. In this case, we're going to choose the default option and update the estimate to stay in sync with the schedule. At this point, notice what happens. The days will update to 30 days as it pulls that information from the schedule. But also another key thing, the amount of cubic meters per man-hour went up. As we have to do it in less time, we have to do more work per man-hour. So now it's now at 130 cubic meters per man-hour instead of 105. This is where this now gives me key insight into how we're going to handle the cost on this item. And I can evaluate this crew, I can evaluate my shift arrangements and decide how are we going to be able to handle this item, because I realize that 130 cubic meters is not going to be doable with the crew and the hours that we have set right now. So option number one, I can come down to my cost item details. I could go in and change my shifts. Maybe we do 2 hours of overtime, so I could come in and change from 8 days to 10 days and change my wage scale to include an overtime rate. I could add a second shift. The other option is to make a change, an adjustment to my crew. And that's what we're going to do in this case. Maybe instead of 5 laborers, I want to see if I change this to 6 laborers, if we can get that cubic meters to man-hour to go back down. So by changing that to 6, notice that it then changes to 150 cubic meters per man-hour. And I can live with that and realize that that is going to work. We are going to be able to accomplish this in 30 days. The key thing is I added another resource, so now my costs have gone up. And as I make these kinds of changes, I'm able to go to what we call the PBS changes log, in which I can take a look at all the changes as they occur throughout the project. And if I scroll down to the bottom, we can see that last change from 5 to 6 of that particular labor resource, which was an increase of $6,000 roughly for the project. So this is an example of how you can use this real-time connection between Hard Dollar and your scheduling application, whether it's Primavera or Microsoft Project, to be able to manage these changes in real time and see the effects that they will have on the cost of your project. That wraps up our session today. Again, this is Paul Benyon with Hard Dollar. We'll see you next time.